Asha Degree was born on August 5, 1990, to Harold and Inquilla Degree in Shelby, North Carolina. The Degree family lived a normal life and both worked regular jobs. Harold and Inquilla made sure to keep their children's lives centered around family, church, and school. They tried hard to keep them from negative outside influences. The Degrees didn't even have a computer in their house because they feared of predators. In the year 2000, Asha Degree was in the 4th grade and attended Falston Elementary School. She was considered a star player, being that she played point guard in basketball. However, on the day of February 11th, Asha was fouled out of her first game of the season. Her parents recalled her crying and becoming very upset, though she eventually got over it later. On February 13th, it was a normal day for the Degree children. They spent their day with their family going to church and came home around 8 o'clock p.m. The power went out at about 9, prompting Asha's father to check on her and her brother O'Brien. Harold recalls seeing both kids asleep in their beds when he checked on them for a second time at 12:30 a.m., which is when the power restored. Harold checked on the kids again at 2:30 a.m., February 14th, and again, both kids were sleeping. Inquilla, Asha's mother, woke up around 5:45 a.m. to get the kids ready for school that morning. To her surprise, O'Brien was still in his bed. Asha was not. The Degrees searched around the house, and when they couldn't find her, they called Asha's grandmother, who lived right across the street, to see if she was there. She was not. Inquilla called multiple family members, and when none of them had seen Asha, she panicked and called the police. O'Brien, Asha's brother, had recalled hearing Asha's bed squeak, but thought maybe that she was repositioning herself in bed. It was discovered that Asha had gotten out of bed around 3:45 and 4:14 a.m. and had taken a backpack with several sets of clothes and personal belongings and left the house. At 6:40 a.m. Valentine's Day, the police sent out police dogs to track Asha, but they could not pick up her scent. A truck driver and a motorist had both reported that they seen a girl fitting Asha's description walking along Highway 18 wearing a long white t-shirt and white pants. The motorist said he turned around because he thought it was strange that a small child would be walking by herself, especially since it was storming that night. He said he circled 3 times and saw her run into the woods and disappear. Police searched for Asha until the end of the day, but they never found her. The police believe she ran when she saw the motorist approach her. The next day, February 15th, candy wrappers were found in the shed along the highway Asha had been seen running. Also found was a pencil, a green marker, and yellow hair bow that belonged to her. Investigators also found a photo of a black girl around Asha's age, but it was not her. Unfortunately, the search was called off a week later after unsuccessfully locating her. There were over 300 leads and none could give them answers. Being that Asha had packed her favorite clothes with her, Asha's case was treated as a runaway case, but the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children didn't feel that Asha fit that case. It was also said by her father that Asha was scared of the dark and thunderstorms, which made it odd that she left on her own in the middle of the night during a thunderstorm. She also was shy and well-behaved, which made it hard to believe she willingly go with a stranger. Investigators believe she either got off track after leaving or she was abducted. Asha's case went national, gaining attention from shows like The Montel Williams Show and America's Most Wanted. On August 3, 2001, Asha's backpack was discovered during a construction project off Highway 18, where Asha was last seen walking. It was 26 miles north of Shelby, which is where she lived. It was wrapped in 2 trash bags and contained her name and phone number inside. Inside the backpack was a Dr. Seuss book and a t-shirt with the band New Kids on the Block. In 2005, Asha's age-progressed photo were placed everywhere to gain more attention. The Degrees kept her memory alive by establishing a scholarship in her name and hosting an annual walk where she was last seen, along Highway 18. In 2015, the FBI announced that they were re-examining the case and re-interviewing witnesses. In May of 2016, they received a new possible lead. They said Asha may have been seen getting into an early 1970s Lincoln or possibly a Ford Thunderbird of that same year with rusty wheels. Another huge break in the case came just this past week when several search warrants were made public in connection to Asha Degree.
Now there are two suspects. We have both Roy and Connie Dedman. So today we swung by multiple properties that are listed as being owned by the Dedmans according to the warrants, but we did not get an answer. As the investigation continues, we also reached out to Asha's family and is still currently waiting to hear back. Of course, as more details in this case continue to unravel, we'll be sure to bring you the latest updates.
Police executed several search warrants at multiple properties, including a home and property in Shelby. The locations are said to be owned and lived in by members of the Dedman family. Search warrants were requested after DNA samples linked from Asha Degree's hair and undershirt were linked to a woman named Annalie Desmond Ramirez and a man named Russell Underhill. Her backpack reportedly had Desmond Ramirez and Underhill's DNA on it, as well as the belongings. Desmond Ramirez was just 13 years old when Degree went missing at the time. Several warrants were sent out for Dedman's parents, and multiple properties were searched. Roy Dedman's home, which is only 3.7 miles from Degree's last location, were searched September 10th and September 11th of 2024. Russell Underhill, whose DNA was a match to Degree's belongings, lived in two facilities owned by Roy and Connie Dedman. However, Underhill passed away in 2004, and it is unclear how he was connected to the Dedmans. Also searched were 29 vehicles registered to the Dedmans, but the vehicle that stood out was an older green 1970s era Ford Thunderbird or Lincoln Mark. This is the same vehicle Degree was seen getting in the night she went missing.
Search as we speak.
And in the last 30 minutes, we have obtained video of a green car. Here it is, being towed away from the scene there in Shelby. It is an older green car, we must say, is similar to one identified as the car of interest in the disappearance of Asha Degree, a 9-year-old girl who went missing back the year 2000. If you've lived here,
this man, Roy Lee Dedman's property. He nor a woman he was with at the time wanted to speak on camera other than to just wave and tell us to have a good day. Police serving those search warrants on his property, canvassing the area and collecting evidence.
Also in the warrants, it was discovered that Roy Dedman would use one of his daughters to transport patients in an unreliable vehicle to and from a hospital, which was around the time Degree disappeared. Roy Dedman, who is now in his 80s, has attained an attorney and denies being connected to Degree's disappearance. His attorney alluded that Underhill, who passed away, may be the one who knows what happened to her. In an affidavit, someone told investigators that they saw Roy Dedman digging a chest-deep hole at his home several years ago. They also told investigators he had 3 rooms padlocked and told them it was personal property. Investigators took several journals, trash bags, and children's clothing and rifles from the home. While no remains have been found, a missing tooth was found and taken into evidence. Based on the evidence, the Cleveland County investigators think that unfortunately, Asha Degree was unalived and her body concealed. Degree's uncle showed gratitude that after 24 years, there were still people looking for his niece. He stated that his family just wants answers, whether she's dead or alive.